guys, in today's video I'm going to be testing out the new Rimmel Lasting Finish 25-Hour Breathable Foundation and Concealer. I have been a fan of the Rimmel foundations for a long time now, so I'm super excited to try this out. If you're new to my channel, then please subscribe and let's get straight into the video. Alright, so as I said, this is the Rimmel Lasting Finish 25-Hour Breathable Foundation, and this one claims to deliver an ultra lightweight, flawless coverage with long-lasting staying power while letting your skin breathe. It says that there is no heavy feel, just beautiful looking skin all day and night. It has a buildable medium coverage with up to 25-hour wear that is transfer and sweat resistant. This foundation also has an SPF of 20. The concealer also has similar claims. It's a lightweight medium coverage that lets skin breathe, up to 25-hour wear, and has a smooth finish. As I said, I've been a big fan of the Rimmel foundations for a while now. The first one that I loved for a very long time is this one here, and it has the same name. It's the Lasting Finish 25-Hour Foundation, but with Comfort Serum. And this one is in the shade 110 Light Porcelain. This is a really great medium to full coverage foundation, and the lighter shade is actually pretty light. It is very cool toned though, and I am more neutral cool, so I find it's a bit too pink for me, but if I add in some lightening drops, then it works perfectly. I pretty much loved everything about this foundation, except for the fact that it feels so heavy and cakey on your skin. And then Rimmel also had this one here, which is the Lasting Finish 25-Hour Nude Foundation. And I'm pretty sure this one is now discontinued. This one claimed to be more of a medium coverage, and even though it is the same shade, 110 Light Porcelain, I found this one to be a bit more neutral undertone rather than super cool, so I did prefer this one better. This one can also feel a little heavy on the skin, but not as heavy as the one with the red lid, so that's why I liked this one better as well. So because I think that this one was discontinued, I'm going to assume that the Breathable foundation is its replacement. It has really similar claims like medium coverage, 25-hour wear, it has the same shade name, and they both also have SPF 20. The only difference is that this one now says Breathable, so I really like the sound of that. So with all that being said, I'm actually really excited to try this one out, and I'm hoping that it is better than the other ones in the range already. This one is in the shade 110 Light Porcelain, and it is the lighter shade in the range. There isn't a huge selection to choose from. There are only 8 shades available. You get 30 ml of product in this bottle, and it retails for $22.95. That is a little bit more expensive than the other foundations. This one here only retails for $18.95, so I'm not quite sure why the pricing is so different, but we'll see. The foundation doesn't say what kind of skin type it works best for either. So just for reference, I do have normal combination skin. Around my edges are pretty normal, but through my T-zone and my forehead here, I do get a little bit oily. And as you can see, I have some scarring and some little pimples and breakouts from time to time. I just turn the brightness down a little bit so you can kind of see my skin a bit better as I apply the foundation. So I am going to start off by priming today with my Stila One Step Correct Primer. This one just helps to even out the redness in my skin. And because this foundation is only a medium coverage, I am going to color correct my redness and acne scarring, just so I get the overall coverage that I like. For this, I'm going to be using my Rimmel Insta Conceal and Correct palette. So I just like to hit up around my nose here and on my cheek where I have a few scars, and then I just go and pop a little bit on any other pimples. The brush I'm using for this is the Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Buffer, I'm pretty sure is what it's called. The name has rubbed off, but it's a nice, dense, synthetic bristle brush, so it works well with cream products. I'm also just going to dip into the peach shade and put a little bit of this under my eyes. This helps to correct dark circles. The brush that I'm using to apply this is the e.l.f. Flawless Concealer Brush. This is similar to the Real Techniques one. It is a little bit more fluffy though. I will have all the products and brushes that I used linked in the description box below if you're interested in having a look at them as well. Alright, so onto the foundation. It actually has this cushion applicator, which I've never used before. this is what it looks like. This could be the reason why the foundation's a bit more expensive. I don't know. So I'm just comparing the shades here. Up the top, we've got the Lasting Finish Nude. So that one is the one with the white lid. In the middle is the Breathable foundation. And then the one on the bottom is the Lasting Finish with Comfort Serum, so the red lid. It does actually look a bit darker, so I might have to add in some lightning drops. I'll just pop a little bit on my face and test out the color first. Yeah, I think I might just put some lightning drops in there. I'm just going to pour a little bit onto a palette. It's a very runny formula as well compared to the other foundations. And then I'm just going to take my Australis lightning drops and put one drop into the foundation. If you do have to mix your foundations a lot, what I like to do is put a drop of a foundation I know that matches me, and then I kind of just keep adding in the lightning drops until it looks similar to that. All right, so this is all mixed up. I'm just going to apply it to my face. I am going to be using my Sigma Round Kabuki F82 brush. I do prefer to use kabuki brushes when it comes to applying my foundation because I find I get a fuller coverage over using a beauty blender. So just after blending that in, I feel like the color match looks good with the lightning drops. It is definitely medium because I can still see a whole bunch of my scars and redness popping through on my face. And it really does feel lightweight and breathable, as they say. It feels really, really different to the Lasting Finish red lid foundation. I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit more foundation on some areas where I'd like some more coverage. So pretty much everywhere. And I'm going to go with my beauty blender now and just go over that so it leaves a nice flawless finish on the skin with no streak marks. Alright, so this is what it looks like close up. As you can see on my cheek here, my blemishes are still peeping through, but it is just a medium coverage foundation, so I expect that. I'd say it's dried down to a semi-matte finish. It does look like it has dried, but I still have some luminosity to my skin. I think that this foundation would be really nice for day-to-day wear, like if you're going to work and you just want a light coverage, then this would be the one to go for because it really does feel lightweight and breathable on the skin, especially comparing it to their other foundations. It is like so different. So next I'm going to try out the concealer. This is what it looks like here. I have the shade 001 Light Ivory, and again it is the lightest shade in the range. This one retails for $17.95 and you get 7 mils of product. It has this cushion tip applicator, which again I've never used anything like this, so I'm excited to try it out. Right, so I've just squeezed a little bit out, and one side I'll just apply that directly to my face. The concealer is very neutral, so as you can see, it's very yellow undertoned. I'll just start off with this amount, and I'm going to use my beauty blender to blend it out. Blends out nicely. It doesn't have crazy coverage. I find it hard to judge concealers now that I am a tape shape addict. Like, nothing compares. And I don't know, I feel like it's just really changed the game for concealers. You know, nothing else is ever going to compare to that, especially if you love full coverage. So this side here has the concealer on and this side doesn't. It definitely looks brighter and better. You can't see my dark circle as much, but it's just not as full coverage as I would like, but it's a medium coverage concealer, so I'm just going to put a little bit more on and see if it builds up nicely. And a little bit on my eyelid to use as a primer as well. I feel like the second layer has definitely added some more coverage and it looks better, so go in with 2 layers. Now that it's blended out on both sides, I actually think it looks really nice. I'm now just going to set everything in place using my Insta Fix and Matte Setting Powder. It is creasing a little bit, so I'm just going to go over it once more with my blender. So this is what the foundation and concealer looks like close up. I am pretty happy with it. It's definitely lightweight and breathable, as I said. Even once setting it with a powder, it still feels really comfortable on the skin. So I'm happy with that. It does say it lasts for 25 hours. I'm not going to be wearing a foundation for that long, let's be real, but I will try and wear this for as long as I can. I'm going to finish off my makeup now and I'll be back to show you the finished look. Alright guys, this is the finished look with my makeup completed. Everything went on over the top beautifully, no problems at all. The only thing is that it's a medium coverage foundation and I do like something a bit more. So I still can see some scars and, you know, pimples and stuff around my face, but that's that. So just close up here, you can see my scars on my cheek and this big pimple on my snoz here. Overall, I think the color match looks really nice and it still feels really lightweight, so that is good. The time is now 11:30, so I will check in a couple of hours and let you know how the foundation is holding up.
Alright, so I did end up doing a check-in, but I accidentally deleted the footage. So let's just roll to the next clip where I update you.
Hey guys, so it has been 2 days since I filmed the first impressions part of this video, and I have been wearing this foundation for the last 2 days. Yesterday I wore the foundation for around about 11 hours and it lasted really well. I did have to touch up a little bit around my nose and chin as I was going to my brother's formal, so I needed my makeup to look good. It had just worn off a little bit on those areas, so I put a bit of concealer on the top and powdered it, and it just looked fine. Besides that, it lasted really well for the entire day. I usually get a little bit oily in my T-zone, but I found that to be not a problem, and it didn't cling to any of my dry patches or pimples that I had. Today I've been wearing it for about 9.5 hours now, and again, it's lasted really well. I did change my primer today to the Benefit Professional, whereas the last 2 times I've tried it, I used the Stila One Step Correct primer. I just wanted to see how this primer went, especially around my nose where it does tend to fade, and I think it has lasted better today. If you've watched a few of my first impression videos, then you would know that my foundation does tend to come off around my nose, just no matter what I use. So this is pretty normal for me. The concealer has also lasted really well. It hasn't creased at all and doesn't look cakey under my eyes. I think that the color match of the concealer was really great as well. It had that neutral yellow undertone to it, and I found that it was pretty buildable. I'm not a huge fan of the sponge tip applicator. I don't really get the point. I did just end up squeezing some out and using a brush to spread it under my eyes, as I found it went a little bit further than just using the sponge and kind of dabbing it under there. As you saw in the first part of the video, I did add some whitening drops to the foundation to get a better color match. Today I didn't use the whitening drops and just slapped it on, and I don't think the color match is that bad. I would prefer to have the color adjusting drops with me, but if I went somewhere and forgot them, I could definitely still use this foundation. It also hasn't oxidized at all, so that is a bonus. So here is a close-up of my face. As you can see around my nose, it's faded off, and on this side as well. And then on my forehead, it's also just settled into some of my lines up here. These 2 things happen to me with pretty much every foundation I wear, so I'm kind of used to that, but I don't think it's that bad. But as for the rest of my face, I still feel like it looks really fresh and glowy. The coverage is definitely a medium, but I did find I could build it up a little bit without it becoming cakey. As you can see, my pimples and some of my scars are still peeping through, but I find that the coverage of this foundation is really nice just for everyday wear. And then the main claim of this foundation is that it is breathable, and I can definitely agree with that. After long periods of wear time, it doesn't feel heavy at all on my skin. I know with some foundations, once you've worn them for a long time, you just want to get home and take your makeup off. And I just don't have that feeling with this foundation. It still feels really fresh and breathable. If you're a medium coverage person, then I would definitely recommend this foundation. It feels super lightweight, and I really love the finish that it leaves on my skin. Well, that is all I have to say about this foundation today. If you've tried this out, then leave me a comment below letting me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed watching, and if you did, then please give this video a thumbs up. I hope you found this video helpful, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!